Finding problems? That's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Now on Talking Solutions, the fight against pancreatic cancer. It's got to do with Purple Stride 2017. All of us here at Beasley Media Group proud to be a sponsor. Rebecca, what is the full name of the event?
It's the Purple Stride 2017, presented by The Space and Anderson Dairy on March 25th at Town Square.
Rebecca Shanahan and Jeana Churchill. Purple Stride is not far away. It's coming up on Saturday, March 25th. Same great location as last year at Town Square. We want to heighten awareness about pancreatic cancer. Of all the cancers that I know of, this has got to be the worst.
We have Jeana here, who has actually faced the diagnosis herself. I can't imagine being told the diagnosis.
Jeana, you know what that's all about, don't you?
I do. It's a lot of shock, tons of tears, and fear. Just fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what you do know, and yeah, it's lots of fear.
I think the fear comes from the Google searches and reading about the statistics of this disease, that only 9% of those diagnosed actually survive 5 years. 71% of those cases die within the first year. And unfortunately, a lot of the medical profession isn't as educated as to the hope that they could direct their patients towards. So patients are basically told to get their affairs in order.
Renee can tell us about the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and this year's Purple Stride 2017 event. Last year, when we did the show, wasn't the survival rate 8%?
It was.
So it's come up a whole 1%.
When we all started, it was 4%.
Yeah.
So in the last 5 years, we've actually seen an increase.
1% each year.
It's coming along ever so slowly.
Inching its way, yeah.
I'll take any kind of positive forward movement that we can get. Jeana, you are what we need to see more of, and that is a pancreatic cancer survivor.
Absolutely. It's a tough title to have because there are so many that lose their battles, but it's definitely something we need to see more of. I'm not sure which part of it is working, but I do think that it's important that the medical community rally around, and that by being proactive and letting everyone know what's going on, it's taking the stigma out of the disease. They're becoming aware and they're not afraid to talk about it, and that's huge. And that's creating survivors. And even if it's one survivor at a time, we'll take that because our numbers are improving.
And Jeana, are you now a 6-year survivor?
I am a 6-year survivor in 7 days.
I would celebrate that if I were you.
Absolutely. Every year. It's my new birthday.
That is great. I've got to believe that when people see you and they learn that you are a pancreatic cancer survivor and that 6 years you've been heading in this wonderful positive direction, you have got to be the face of hope.
I would like to think so. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword because I think sometimes there are families that are like, well, you know, what are you doing? How's it working? And I don't know. But I definitely think that I am the face of hope, and I'd like to see more faces. I'd like to go to the Purple Stride and have more survivors up top with me.
You could have a whole big team.
Absolutely,
getting bigger every year.
I think Jeana, at the time of her diagnosis, is such a common story of how people are diagnosed. Her diagnosis, and she can elaborate more, obviously, was that it was very happenstance, and she got lucky. And I think that a lot of people don't get lucky at the time that it's caught. And that's why this disease is so deadly, is because there's no early detection tools, and it's just too late. It's metastasized to, multiple organs, and people don't have a lot of hope. And the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and our movement here in Las Vegas is trying to change that.
We're celebrating the fact that the survival rate of pancreatic cancer actually came up 1% since last year. No, every single percentage point that you get is a victory. But it was 8% last year. Now the latest numbers are saying 9% survival rate. Still has got to be one of the most deadly cancers that people face.
It's actually surpassed breast cancer to become the third leading cause of cancer deaths. So yes, it's time for people to pay attention.
Purple Stride 2017, because purple is the color that represents pancreatic cancer. It's coming up on Saturday, March 25th at Town Square, the Green. Love that place.
This is a very family-friendly, fun event. It's not gloom and doom. It's a celebration. It's a community engagement. We want people to know about this disease, but see the survivors, see those of us that have come together to create change and what we've built. And it's a showcase of what we've done here in Las Vegas.
And it is going to be a great event. It's going to be a beautiful spring day in a beautiful location in Town Square.
With no wind.
Well, yeah.
No wind.
I know. Sometimes it gets a little bit windy around here in the springtime, right. But not on that day.
Not on that day. And those that are listening, if they go to purplestride.org/Las Vegas and use the code PS Radio, they'll get a 10% discount off their registration.
Think all the good things that you're going to do by getting signed up for Purple Stride 2017.
Yeah, and actually there's a $10 option. If you can't be here for the event on March 25th, they can sign up to be a virtual Strider, which is only $10. There's a variety of ways to help and participate and show your support.
That is so clever, too. Seriously, I just did the virtual Climb the Strat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's the one I would do virtually.
There's a lot of great virtual opportunities, and I'm really proud of that. We are really excited that Mike and Carla from 96.3 KKLZ are so into doing this. They're going to have their own team.
We thank you so much for all your support.
It's an issue that we want to always raise awareness on, because when people understand how many are affected, how the survival rate is not what we want it to be, it's improving, but ever so slowly. We're trying to get it there. And because the survival rate is so low in comparison to other cancers, we lose so many brilliant, wonderful people.
People sometimes ask me why they don't hear about pancreatic cancer, and the response is always because people don't live to talk about it. So it's those of us and the survivors that it's our duty to get it out there.
I think it's not a sexy conversation. There's nothing pretty about it. No one even knows where the pancreas is, what it does, or anything like that. And so that with the survival rates being so low, I think that people are afraid. And what we need to do is just really start talking about it. Talk about it, talk about death, talk about everything, so that we can start changing the way that this disease progresses and people know about it. And like I said, that's what's going to get the cure, is people talking about it.
You've heard about the squeaky wheel.
Yep, absolutely.
We got to be the squeaky wheel when it comes to pancreatic cancer. Are there any clues? Because if you can catch it early, and was that your case, Jeana? Did they find it relatively early?
It had already spread, but they found it early enough to where it didn't spread to all the major organs. There aren't any clues. For me, it was incidental. I was in the hospital for a completely different reason, and I had a CT scan, and on the CT scan, they saw the tumors. And the medical community isn't that schooled where they know where the signs are. They told me it was a disease that 60-year-old men that were alcoholics got.
You do not look
at
like
all.
it. No.
Not at all. So they were very surprised that I would have pancreatic cancer, and it was a positive diagnosis.
You were just lucky you had a test in the hospital.
Absolutely.
So there aren't really a lot of clues?
They're pretty vague.
Common.
Yeah, people have lower back pain, nausea. Who doesn't have that?
An upset stomach.
I can remember before my dad was diagnosed, that whole summer prior to his diagnosis, he would lay on the floor because his back hurt. Well, he was 65. Whose back doesn't hurt? I'm 41 and my back hurts every day, and don't think it doesn't cross my mind. I check myself a little bit, but people just don't think about it. I know a lot of people get sent home telling them, it's your gallbladder, it's acid reflux, it's not pancreatic cancer.
You ate something.
You ate something. People just need to be vigilant and be educated about the possibilities.
Rebecca, is there a chance that there is a family link here, that your father had pancreatic cancer?
There is a genetic component to this disease. My father was diabetic, so I try to tell myself that it's because he was diabetic that he was diagnosed with this disease, because as far as I know, I don't have any other familial history. But there are, through the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, we've met hundreds of volunteers across the country who have multiple family members who have been diagnosed with this disease. So there is a genetic component. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network works closely with the National Cancer Institute to strategize and develop comprehensive research studies to address the genetic component.
The fact that your father also had diabetes, that rings a bell, because we're talking about pancreatic cancer, and we know that also diabetes deals with the pancreas.
Yes, they do believe that there is a link. And again, the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is working closely with research institutions to try to identify what that potential link could be.
Is the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network active enough to where if somebody is diagnosed, maybe in a doctor's office or in a hospital location, that they would be directed to Pancreatic Cancer Action Network?
And our healthcare institutions here in Las Vegas, please notify your patients that this organization exists. They have a very effective patient central program where a patient can call the number, can reach out to the organization directly. They will be connected with a patient central associate, and they will be in contact with that same associate throughout their journey. And that person at the organization, that associate, can give them information on clinical trials, which are huge to change the course of this disease and debunk the myths of clinical trials for those patients. It can help them identify other possible treatment options throughout the country, not just here locally. It can assist them with diet and nutrition, pain management, financial aid opportunities, which can be huge for those families being diagnosed with this type of disease. I'm very proud of this organization and that program.
They also have a support network for the patients, which links them to other patients which is huge. Just mentally being able to bounce back off of someone who's going through the same types of things that you're going through and that also have the same types of treatments. Sometimes the doctors aren't aware of all the side effects of the medications and things like that, but to have someone else who's going through that and be able to say, hey, this is normal. My skin on my hands is coming off or whatever, just be able to say, yes, that's normal. That's part of the medication. The doctor didn't warn you, but that's okay. That's what you're supposed to be going through.
That is the kind of support that is immeasurable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because it's one thing to empathize with someone, to be caring and kind and understanding. It's another thing to actually be in contact with another person who's actually going through it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no kind of support that compares to that.
Absolutely not. It gives you an opportunity to vent to someone other than your family or your friends or the people surrounding you. It just gives you a chance to vent and to say all your hidden secrets and fears that you have about the disease, and they can bounce back and give you a little bit of hope and say, hey,
I got through it.
Yeah.
That's what they can say.
Yeah,
I got
absolutely.
through it too.
The Purple Stride, that's what it's called, Purple Stride 2017, because purple is the color that represents pancreatic cancer. It's coming up on Saturday, March 25th at the Green, Town Square. Love that place. I have no doubt at that big event that there's going to be a lot of information for people about the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network to find out ways they can get involved.
All of that is available, but I think it's also important to highlight that this is a very family-friendly, fun event. It's not gloom and doom. It's a celebration. Mm-hmm. It's a community engagement. We want people to know about this disease, but see the survivors, see how those of us have come together to create change and what we've built. And it's a showcase of what we've done here in Las Vegas.
See how you've taken bad news and turned it around to something positive.
We always say no one wants to be a part of this club, as we were just discussing early, but this has definitely been the positive from our negative.
And it is going to be a great event. Mm-hmm. I know it's going to be a beautiful spring day in a beautiful location in Town Square.
With no wind.
Well, yeah.
No wind.
Wow, I know. Anytime you have an outdoor event, I always say that you have these pressures with springtime, and sometimes it gets a little bit windy around here in the springtime, but not on that day.
Not on that day. And those that are listening, if they go to www.purplestride.org/Las Vegas and use the code PS Radio, they'll get a 10% discount off their registration. So should it be windy and they decide not to come out, even though we want them to come out with the rest of us, they won't feel as though they've lost too much of their money.
Think all the good things that you're going to do by getting signed up for Purple Stride 2017.
Yeah, and actually there's a $10 option. If you can't be here for the event on March 25th, they can sign up to be a virtual strider, which is only $10. There's a variety of ways to help and participate and show your support.
I just did the virtual Climb the Strat.
Well, that's a good idea.
That's the one I would do virtually.
Yeah, I did the virtual Climb the Strat. I'm really proud of that. I don't think they're going to give me a ribbon or a medal, but I donated to a really good cause.
That is true.
And you know what? Even if you don't want to come out and run or walk or what have you, we are always looking for volunteers. We need tons and tons of volunteers. We really rely on our volunteer network to keep this program going, so we'd really, really appreciate the help.
Yeah, any extra hands are always welcomed. Our next big event, it's a national event. It's our advocacy event. We go to D.C. every year and raid Capitol Hill in purple, and that is a huge and amazing opportunity for people to actually hear their voice being heard by those that can actually affect change at the federal level.
I love those trips to Washington to talk about issues.
Yep.
This event, Purple Stride, at Town Square. I know Mike O'Brien and Carla Ray from the 96.3 KKLZ Morning Show are coming out. It's going to be a lot of people out there and a lot of fun. What's going to happen during that day?
There's a 5K option. There's a family-friendly 1-mile option. I believe the Disney princesses will be making an appearance again this year. I think we have an Elvis impersonator. We have timed and untimed options. So for those looking to beat their latest record, they can have that opportunity at our event as well. There'll be food. It's a really good, fun event. And, it doesn't take up your whole day. It's just a couple hours in the morning, a beautiful Saturday morning at Town Square.
That's a fun place to hang out.
Opening ceremonies start at 8:30. On-site registration starts at 7:30. And then the run walk starts at 9. Closing ceremonies are at 10:30.
Everybody's out of there by about noon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you can hang out at Town Square and have a nice lunch and do some shopping.
Purple Stride 2017 Las Vegas.
Presented by
The Space
and Anderson Dairy.
Ooh, does that mean they're bringing stuff?
Chocolate milk.
Yes!
All right.
Chocolate milk is a smart nutritional choice after a 5K. Renee had just pointed out there are so many different 5K events that unless someone is aware of all of these issues surrounding pancreatic cancer, they might not choose to attend this event. But it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, as our event chair, who works diligently on this for 11 months out of the year, pointed out, that's exactly right. We have to find other kind of family-friendly opportunities so that will drive people to our event. So we have the Disney princesses and the superheroes. We have an Elvis impersonator who'll be there in his purple jumpsuit. We have the crazy popcorn lady. This event is being sponsored by The Space and Anderson Dairy. Anderson Dairy will be there with their chocolate moo truck. So for every runner who knows that chocolate milk is the go-to end-all after a race, they'll have that opportunity to participate in that. We'll have McGruff the crime dog, Deputy Drip. There's a kid play zone, lots of activities for the kids. It is a very family-friendly event, and we ask everyone who has a free Saturday morning to please come out and check it out.
And it is just a Saturday morning because by noontime, we're all going to be off doing other things. Yep. Jeana, as a survivor of pancreatic cancer, 6 years. Congratulations.
6 years, thank you.
Do you have your own team?
I do. This year, my girlfriends from Las Vegas High School, we have a team. I can't remember the name of it
I'm thinking Team Jeana is a really good name.
It's very similar to that, but yeah, they all got together and created a team. I'm very honored, and I love these girls to death, so we're excited, and we'll be out there, not running, definitely walking.
Well, there's walking, and then there's the virtual thing. We can get involved
I tried
somehow.
to do the virtual thing, but I will be there.
You need to be part of it because, as we were saying a few minutes ago, you're the face of hope.
I will definitely be there. I would not miss it.
We stride for Jeana.
We stride for Jeana. There we go.
That's the name of the team?
Yes.
Oh, I like that. So you got your own team. How do people get involved? How do they sign up, Rebecca? What do they have to do?
For Purple Stride, they can go to purplestride.org/Las Vegas and join a team, create a team, or simply donate. If they use the code PS Radio after hearing this, they'll get a 10% discount.
And they can sign up as a volunteer.
And they can sign up as a volunteer, or they can use the virtual Strider option, which is simply a $10 donation. That's a huge help. And our goal, which is $103,000 this year.
And that money is going to
the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network to support their variety of programs, such as the Patient Central program that we discussed earlier, additional community engagement events. I think there's over 50 Purple Strides across the nation every year. They have a very effective research program. Thanks to the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, we've seen an increase in researchers directing their attention to pancreatic cancer. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network has funded over 140 research grants, over 140 scientists, for a total of $35 million in research grants. So all of the money raised from Purple Strides go to all of those programs.
Jeana, what would your best advice be to someone who is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer or someone in their circle? What is your best first advice to someone who just got that stunning news?
Have hope. Definitely have hope and don't give up. Reach out and don't be afraid. Don't stigmatize it for you or your family. Speak up and say, hey, and the doctors in the medical community, they are not 100% right all the time. If something doesn't feel right, fight back and say, no, I don't agree. I want more information, and seek second and third and fourth opinions if necessary.
And the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network can help you get those second, third, fourth opinions.
They can actually connect you to doctors in your area and even outside of your state that can help you.
And do you think part of the issue, which I'm sure is going to improve, is that doctors don't understand pancreatic cancer as well as they need to?
I think for so long it's been a death sentence, and so it's always been perceived as that. And so now I think with awareness and bringing the topic up and seeing that there are survivors and there is hope, I think that that's rallying the community to do more, to really investigate research and to really try to end this disease. And that's what the Pancreatic Action Network's goal is to end this disease and definitely improve our numbers. But there's no reason. We have a cure for breast cancer. There's a cure for prostate cancer. Every day you hear about these new cures that are coming about. We want the same. We want to have a cure for pancreatic cancer. We don't want families to lose their loved ones or friends to lose their loved ones. And that's what their goal is.
No doubt you are deserving to having a cure for pancreatic cancer, being that it is so deadly to so many. But Jeana, you're right. It's also putting out there that there's hope, that there are survivors like yourself. Now, at the event at Purple Stride 2017 Las Vegas, are you going to be in a different color perhaps as a survivor?
Yes, white. I'm going to have to keep my purple tutu though.
Well, you can do that. You can accent with purple.
Yes. The survivors wear white shirts that clearly designate them as survivors. So, if families and friends want to come talk, ask, or need a hug. Every one of the survivors is pretty good about that.
And we have a specific area for the survivors and VIPs participating in the event. So we try to, for lack of a better term, wine and dine them to some degree without the wine. But we try to provide a private breakfast or pastries. Sometimes we have hot food. Just an area where the survivors can mingle amongst themselves, get to know each other. And to be a pancreatic cancer survivor doesn't mean you have to be 5 or 6 years in your journey. You could be going through the journey in only 2 months, and you are qualified to participate in that survivor tent. And I think it would be a great benefit to someone who's new in their journey to participate in that.
Every year you want to have more people in that VIP survivor area.
Absolutely. I mean, every new face that's up there just adds to the hope. You know, for a long time it was 1, and then it was 2, and then it was 3. Our goal is to get as many up there as possible.
Got to get more research, got to get more treatments, more cures, more awareness.
That's where we're going to get our cures from, when people know.
And it doesn't cost anything for the survivors to participate. They can register for free.
Hey, and for everybody else to register, we'll put all the links and information on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with a podcast of today's discussion.
Thank you.
If people need the information, we'll make sure that it's out there.
Thank you. For those who want to participate in Purple Stride Las Vegas 2017, presented by The Space and Anderson Dairy on March 25th at the Green at Town Square, which is near Guitar Center, they can register at www.purplestride.org/Las Vegas. And if you're listening to this interview today, you can use the code PS Radio for a 10% discount.
Yes. That was very
I'm getting
nice.
better over the years. I'm trying.
I was like,
I'm trying.
We want to get hundreds and hundreds of people out there.
That would be great.
We are really excited that Mike and Carla from 96.3 KKLZ are so into doing this. They're going to have their own team.
We thank you so much for all your support.
It's an issue that we want to raise awareness on, because when people understand how many are affected, and because the survival rate is so low in comparison to other cancers, we lose so many brilliant, wonderful people.
People sometimes ask me why they don't hear about pancreatic cancer, and the response is always because people don't live to talk about it. Yep. So it's those of us and the survivors, it's our duty to get it out there. There's opportunity here, and it's just every year when we get frustrated and we're tired, and we're reminded that there are opportunities in Las Vegas, and we just have to keep chipping away at it. And so we thank you for helping us chip and chip and chip, because I know in 10 years we'll have reached that 1 million mark, and that'll be amazing.
Anything we can do.
I think it's not a sexy conversation. There's nothing pretty about it. No one even knows where the pancreas is, what it does, or anything like that. And so that, with the survival rates being so low, I think that people are afraid. And what we need to do is just really start talking about it. Talk about it. Talk about death. Talk about everything, so that we can start changing the way that this disease progresses and people know about it. And like I said, that's what's going to get the cure, is people talking about it.
You've heard about the squeaky wheel.
Yep, absolutely.
We got to be the squeaky wheel when it comes to pancreatic cancer. And that's what the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network is all about. Jeana, sometimes when you get a life-changing diagnosis, your whole outlook on life changes. For some people, it's negative. For me, it was totally positive. Do you wake up every morning happy to be here?
Definitely. Every day. I think I've always been a positive person. My motivation were my kids. I had little kids, and I was not about to leave their life or have them, be without a mom. I didn't want them to be victims, and I didn't want to be a victim. I wanted to live because of them. But yes, every day I wake up, I am absolutely grateful. It hasn't been an easy journey. I mean, there are good days and bad days, but hey, my eyes are open and I'm awake, so I have to be grateful.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day is a gift. I don't know. I just tend to think that people who have a diagnosis of something that does not, in many cases, have a cure, sunsets look better. Sunrises are great. I get up and I spend more time just being here.
Cheesecake is that much creamier.
I like your attitude. It is Purple Stride 2017. Rebecca, I bet you know the whole name of it.
If I don't, I will get in trouble. It is Purple Stride Las Vegas 2017, presented by The Space and Anderson Dairy on March 25th at the Green on Town Square.
Yes. Yes. Nice work. Nice work. We always ask on Talking Solutions, what can we do to help you?
I think you're doing great by just having us here. I mean, this is the first step. This is our first interview to promote this event. We are so grateful. Every year, we were just talking about chipping away at the progress here in Las Vegas, and we know there's huge opportunities. And thank you for being a leader and taking this cause on.
Anytime. What about our listeners?
They can register for Purple Stride Las Vegas 2017, presented by The Space and Anderson Dairy at www.purplestride.org/Las Vegas. If you are hearing this interview today, you can use the code PSRadio for a 10% discount. Any amount is helpful. We are greatly appreciative.
And as always, we'll put all the links on our Talking Solutions Facebook page along with a podcast of today's interview. I'm ready to do it. It's not quite time yet. This is that little window between us sitting in the studio and talking about Purple Stride and when you actually meet up with everybody at Town Square.
We have a lot of work to do between now and then. So we're revving up and we're super excited. And we're on the home stretch, as Renee says.
Get rest, pace yourself, and show me where the chocolate milk is when I get there. Rebecca Shanahan and Jeana Churchill. Also, Renee giving us facts in the background.
The event coordinator who does an amazing job.
Yes, you do. You're full of great facts. One of these days, I'll get you back on the mic. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today on Talking Solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you.